that we were delighted to have Stan and Jill with us from the Scottish Network Churches. I'm very pleased I've got that right twice so far this morning. Normally I say the Scottish Churches Network, not the Scottish Network Churches, so we've got that right. But I wonder if you guys, first of all, can introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Okay, hello. I'm Jill. Thank you, Sarah. I'm Jill. This is Stan. He has the pleasure of being my husband for almost 24 years. Ooh. I know. I feel that deserves a cheer. So let me tell you a bit about us. We have two kids. We have a girl who is 15 called Hope. And she's learning to sew at the moment. She does amazing nail art, and she gives me fashion advice when I need it, which is quite often. We have a son who is 17, and he's sitting his driving test this month. Oh my goodness, yes, scary. I don't feel old enough for that. A bit about Stan. He loves to cook. He is an amazing cook, which is a blessing all round because I can't cook. So I have a personal chef, which is lovely. He loves reading theology books for downtime. I'm reading my murder mystery, and he's reading about God. That's what happens. And he is an associate pastor at our church 2 days a week in Liberty. And for 3 days a week, he's development director for Scottish Network Churches, which we'll talk about a bit in a moment. And he is regrowing a moustache. I was reminded that 2 years ago when we were here, it actually came out and round.
It's not happening like that this time. It's not handlebar this time. It's going to stay like this.
Are you not going to move on?
No, this is it.
Who thinks he should move back to the handlebar?
No, it's... Gentlemen, it's a lot of work. I'm not that bothered. Anyway, we'll move on.
He did find it quite stressful.
Did get stopped in the street an awful lot, though, by, young men and teenagers who just never speak to people like my age.
17-year-old came and shook his hand?
Yeah, shook my hand!
Good job on the tash.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Thank you very much. Anywho, so a bit about me. I've just finished making over 100 costumes for my girls' school play, which has been amazing. It's Shrek Junior the musical. I saw the first run-through on Friday afternoon, and they are going to smash it. Hope is the third pig. Top role there. Key role. She did go for Princess Fiona, but didn't get it. Her outfit is a massive, shocking pink ball gown with lots of flouncy bits on it. That's the advantage of having a mum who does the costumes. She got what she wanted, so that's good. I also work for the network 2 days a week as operations lead, and 1 day a week I am the children's worker at our church, although I've just handed my notice in for that. We hail from Dunfermline. We've lived there for 15 years now, and that's where our church is, Liberty Church, which is also a network church. I was interested to see you've got a bakery straight across the road. Well done. We in Dunfermline have Stevens the bakers. I don't know if you've heard. Apparently, what? You've not heard? Because their bridies are world famous. No.
Are they as famous as a dream ring? I very much doubt it.
Oh, see, I've never heard of a dream ring.
Oh. So a
dream ring?
Should we buy one right now?
We might have to send someone out right this minute to go and get one. We did.
Tim's on it.
At some point we should tell Tim it's shut today. But anyway, we'll probably get one in the co-op on the way past, on the way home. But we did introduce these guys to Miels last night, one of the Inverness treats. So.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yes,
so good.
Brilliant. So I think that's about it for us. We're the lights.
And just in terms of the church that you mentioned, Liberty and Dunfermline, so there's a wee bit of a special connection between Kings and Liberty, because their founding pastor, Tom and Ruth Raller. So that's the church that Tom and Ruth planted in Dunfermline before eventually coming up here. So it's just funny the way that these things have worked out. Yeah. So we've referred to ourselves as a network church. But I wonder if you can tell us who is the network and actually what does it mean to be part of the network?
Fantastic. So this is us. There's the little logo there, and this new strapline that we've developed, which is nurturing and establishing churches that flourish. Thank you very much. So the Scottish Network of Churches is a network of churches that have been working together for over 30 years. It brought together by a guy called Keith Short, who I know has preached here a number of times. And it all happened accidentally. He went and took a church in Bishop Briggs. Some young people who had come from a challenging background had got saved and then started their own church. And they said to Keith, "Can you become our pastor?" And Keith's like, "Well, you've already got a church, so I'm just a pastor of this church. But what we can do is have a lunch every week." And so he got together with them, and this network began to grow together. So we have this new strapline, which is nurturing church and establishing church. Oh, goodness me.
As you can tell, it's quite new,
Yeah.
and it's not running off our tongues. Just
Nurturing and establishing churches that flourish. And the reason for that... Yeah. I wrote it. I can't... Yeah, it's too small for me to read. Now I can see it. Nurturing and establishing churches that flourish. We're here because we believe by working together... Just leave it on the floor. It's absolutely fine. By working together, we can actually be better. In every which way. That we can reflect Jesus better. That we can grow and share skills together, that we can learn together, and we believe that not only for those churches that are established in the network, but that together we might be able to impact Scotland and our different local communities in the small ways we can, recognizing we're just one small network in the many networks and denominations that Scotland has and that God's working amongst, to share the good news and to plant churches. And so we're all about that. And we love this idea of flourishing rather than success. Success is so easily counted in the world's eyes in matrix of numbers or finance, all these things. But flourishing can look different in different ways. And one of the things we use is this little image here, which is of these plant pots. And one of the reasons we've been using this a little bit is the little plant pots are a little picture of all the individual churches. And when you see those row of plants, the first thing you see is the plants. And that's what we want to be. The Scottish Network is actually something that is, in some ways, just behind the scenes, working together. We're the tray, the soil, in which the network connects with each other. And I want you to also notice that each one of the plants is different. We're not a network about cookie-cutter churches. The churches are going to look different, and they should look different, because they're serving different communities. They reflect the communities they're serving. Some of these churches, like yours, have been around for a while. We have one church that is literally in the process of beginning to start. And so again, there's going to be different maturity, different expression. And so we've been using this picture because it kind of helps capture something. But what the network can provide is a conduit, a space where we can share stories, identity, learning, and all those sort of things. So I've got these 5 little points here. What does it mean to be part of the network? It is churches in fellowship together. Each one of the network churches is independent. So you have your own independent governance and guidance. And the network wants it to be that way. So we're not an authority like a denomination where we come down from the top and it's like a hierarchy. No. We are friends that have decided to hold ourselves in mutual accountability. So there is an openness. There is a chance, and within the team, to come to church and ask, how's it going? What can you be learning? How is it difficult? And sometimes to challenge and say, how's this thing working? But it's a mutual accountability. It's not hierarchical. So we believe that would be a better way to do it. The thing that we share, of course, is the love of Jesus. One of the other things that we are wanting to do is to encourage and establish mission, to keep that at the forefront and for us to share that as a whole. I've got one more point to speak to. And last of all, as I said, mutual accountability and supporting leaders and teams. So what we really do believe is the network as well, we're beginning to shift into a new phase, has been often about the senior...
That's amazing.
Wow.
That wouldn't happen at our church, so well done.
Fantastic.
That's beautiful.
Well, I think that's all we've got to say.
We'll
We've got to get on the
car
road.
and eat it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we have to say. But we're here about supporting leaders and churches and encouraging them. And what we'd love to see increasingly is that we've seen maybe the senior leaders or the team leaders connecting. But what we want to see is our youth workers, our administrators, all the different ministries of the church, learning from other churches. I've just heard recently you've started digital sign-in for your children's work. We at Liberty want to do exactly the same thing. So Jill's first thing was, I need to speak to that person who set that up because she's struggling to do it. So we've got skills we could learn, but I'm going to take Jill's script and I'm going to pass on to her.
Yeah, like we just are aware that within all the churches across Scotland, there is so much value that individuals and groups of people can bring. And so my job over the next little while is to really go around and gather all the learning that is already there, all the resources that are already there, and be the person that can match things up. So, you know, there's a worship group in the north who can connect with a songwriter in the south of Scotland. You know, there's maybe youth workers in the east who have found something that works brilliantly with youth, and they can really just pass that excitement and vision on to people in the east. You know, we want to see this cross-pollination across all of our churches where we can all share together and learn together and grow together.
Yeah.
Because within each one of you is gift from God. And if you are able to share that, oh my goodness, what a gold mine that is at our fingertips to be able to move forward with the work that God has for us, which is really exciting. And the last thing is that we do training. We have something called Launch and we have something called Ignite. And in a moment, Stan will explain a little more about that. This is the list of the churches that we have in our network at the moment. It is growing slowly, and just to say as well, like on that list, there's a church with just 5 people in it at the moment. They meet in a living room, and then we have big churches like this, and everything in between. We have churches that are set up in more missional community areas. We have some that are gathered, lots of different, as Stan said, not cookie cutter, but this is who you are a part of.
It's great. One of the things I've always liked about the story of the network is basically friends getting together to try and support one another, and that really relational aspect of not being this top-down, you must do this, must do that kind of approach, which I think has always resonated with us. And the idea of church is bringing people together like youth workers and worship leaders. Again, we're really pleased to hear that kind of direction of travel. So it moves beyond, this is something of benefit to Sarah and I as the co-pastors, to be a benefit to every single person in the room. And actually, Sarah and I met through circumstances like that when we were 13 and some pastors got together to bring their youth together, and we met. And Sarah ended up moving to Inverness. I promised her a dream ring if she came up. She was a bit disappointed with what I gave her. Slight cultural misinterpretation there. But one of the other benefits to being part of a network is that kind of being able to see the bigger picture of what God is doing around the nation. And just very quickly, I wonder if you can speak to some of the things that you're seeing across the network at the moment, and maybe a bit broader across Scotland. There's been a lot of publicity recently about something called the Quiet Revival. Put your hands up if you heard that at all. Yeah, a few of you. So it's basically a piece of research that is primarily focused in England and Wales and was tracking statistics around churches going back to 2018. Some of the headlines is, and this is all present England and Wales UK stats. Bible sales are up 87% since 2019. 29% of students are reported to be reading their Bibles weekly. 2 million people are attending church more. 2 million more people are going to church than 6 years ago. And Gen Z, which is 13 to 28-year-olds, are more likely to attend church than any other generation, especially young men. That's what God's doing at the moment. So I wonder if there's anything along that kind of lines you can encourage us with.
Yeah, I mean, one of the lovely stories that we've connected with a church called Community Church Edinburgh, and they've seen, particularly when we talk about Gen Z, through their youth work, they've seen 5 or 6 completely unchurched young men come and get involved. And they just were they just connected to the church, and they're there every Sunday, and it's been blowing them away. And they've also, being a city centre church, they recently had a young man in his 20s who just rocked up, and Rupert, who leads there, was like, how have you come here? And like, what's your background? He's like, I've never been to church in my life. I just felt there was something more. I looked on the internet. I thought you guys would be good. And he's been coming along and just loving it. So I think the sense is, from people, is that there are people who are asking questions in a new and different way. And they're beginning to realize that that can't all be solved, or that need and that hunger isn't going to be solved by just connecting on internet, but actually finding communities of faith. And so just I think the encouragement for each one of us in our church is that, I know that you do this so well, is what does it mean to be welcoming? You are going to have people coming through the door. This is the first time. And each one of us have got a gift and a responsibility and a joy to just say hello. Yeah. And so I think in one sense, that movement is something that we're not in control of, and what's happening out there and what's happening on people, but we can be really beautifully responsive when they come to us. And if that be in your work, or this be in this church, or any of the groups you do, that we can offer that hospitality in Jesus' name. So, yeah.
It's great. Now, if any of the good people here want to find out more or think, oh, how can I get involved in some of the network stuff, how would they go about that?
Well, we're here after the service, so please come and chat to us if you would like that. You can look on our website. The best way for you to keep in touch at the moment is to join our mailing list. So you go onto our website and then just click on Join Mailing List. That's the best way. I'm not going to spam you. Don't worry. You'll hear from us once a month with a little update, and 4 times a year with stories from people and churches across Scotland.
Fantastic. And another way that you might be getting involved is also we have some different training opportunities. So we run something called Ignite, which is a discipleship training program. And you have 3, I believe, individuals here. 4. I'm misinformed. Thank you for correcting me. Who are joining Ignite at the moment. It's online, so it's on Zoom on a weekday night, and then they have a number of in-person gatherings. Are we going to invite that person?
We're going to invite Anne up at this time, who is going to come and share. So I've got a couple of questions.
Thank you, yeah.
I did offer Anne a seat, but you're going to sit, you know. So Anne, tell us, what have you enjoyed most about doing Ignite? And maybe within that, just explain a little bit about what it is and what you've been doing.
Yeah, well, first of all, for those of you who know me, you know I love to talk a lot. But I'm not used to this, speaking in front of a lot of people, so you'll have to bear with me. But yeah, Ignite, Sarah approached me last year and asked, would I like to do this? And immediately I thought, no, this will be out of my comfort zone. I've done no training, no studying since I did my nurse training many, many years ago. And I obviously prayed about it a lot, and I had a bit of time before the course started, prayed about it, and something that kept coming back to me, because at one point in my 20s, I was manager of a sports shop and was a buyer for them, and not sporty, don't be fooled by that, because I'm not. But the slogan, the Nike slogan I always liked was, just do it. And that just kept coming to me, just do it. So I thought, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. So yeah, Ignite has just been amazing. What I'm enjoying most about, there's so much I'm enjoying about it, but it's the learning, the knowledge. It's amazing. I became a Christian in 2003, fell away from God. That is an interview for another day, I think, Chris. And what God has done in my life over the past 2 years has been amazing. And Ignite has been a huge part of that. So I really, my knowledge of the Bible was zero, really. So Phil and Julie, that run the Ignite course on Zoom every Wednesday, has been brilliant. So I have my program here, but I've learned so much about the Bible, and yeah, and that's ongoing, and yeah.
Good. What do you think has impacted you most, or is there something that you've learned that you didn't know before?
Lots. Lots. I mean, every week I'm learning, and what's impacted me the most, I think because I've got Stan sitting beside me, I've got to say week 7 when Stan came and taught to us. So, yeah, no, that really was actually because Stan came and he was speaking about the names of God in the Bible, and I had no idea that there were so many names. And, you know, with like Yahweh, you'll correct me here, Yahweh, Rapha, God who heals, Yahweh, what's God our shepherd, Raphi, there's so many. I've got it all written here, but that and about the attributes of God and his character. The other thing that I found really impactful was the day in Dunfermline at Liberty Church for the first in-person day was on the 10th of May a few weeks ago, and we went to Stephen's Bakery. It was really, really good. The bacon rolls were excellent, so we did go there. But that day was excellent. In the morning, we had Phil talking about piecing together the message of the New Testament. It was a jigsaw puzzle. We were all given like a book, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, and we put it together, and he explained it all so well. And then in the afternoon, we had Colin Syme from Edinburgh came to speak, and that was awesome. He was speaking about the empowerment of the Holy Spirit, and we had some worship and prayer, and the Holy Spirit was moving in the room, and it was amazing. That was a great day, and getting to meet the people in person, the other 4 from the Central Belt that are doing the course. There's 4 of us from King's. And yeah, that was lovely. Amazing.
And what do you think your biggest takeaway from the course is going to be?
Definitely the knowledge. And there's so much more to learn because I've got the program here, and it's just, the knowledge, the learning, and I'm just so hungry to learn more. And I'm really looking forward to this Wednesday evening because it's the power of forgiveness. That's going to be good because, that's a hard one. And I'm going to admit, I find that hard. I can think of a few people and yeah. So I'm looking forward to this Wednesday night. So yeah, it's just the knowledge that I'm going to be taking away is just amazing. And the friendships, the people that I've met and I'm getting to know, and even the girls in King's, the 3, and I say girls, I'm the granny of the group. They're all much younger than me. So, it's good getting to know them also, and the friendships, yeah.
So who are the other 3 that you
So the other 3 are Dion, and who's here today, Laura, and Lisa, I know, isn't here today. So I didn't really know any. I mean, I would see them at church, but I didn't know the girls. So it was really good when we travelled down also for the in-person day, and we stayed overnight. So it was great getting to know them in the car, and just, it's really good.
One of the things that might put someone off perhaps doing like an online thing is being in the room or just kind of being in front of a laptop, but you've been meeting together to do it, haven't you?
Yeah, that's been a good thing actually, because I'm not a fan of Zoom. I'm really not, but it's brilliant because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to do Ignite. So it's brilliant. But Dion had suggested, well, why don't we all just come to mine and the 4 of us can sit and do it here, and that has actually made a huge difference. And Phil, who runs it, he now fondly refers to us as the Nessies. So we quite like that. So we're the Ignite Nessies. So yeah, we go to Dion's every Wednesday and do it together, which is good.
Great. And finally, would you recommend it?
Absolutely. Anybody here who, if you're approached for the next Ignite course, if Sarah or Chris approach you, I've got 3 words for you. Just do it. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And before I hand the microphone back, can I just say one last thing? Since I came along to King's, probably about 2 years ago now, I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for making me so welcome into your church family, for your love, your support, and your encouragement. Thank you. I'm getting emotional. You all mean a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just before we hand back to Sarah in the bandstand, so when does the next Ignite course start?
So this program is just started, so I'm afraid it's now too late to join. But what we'll do is we'll run this program, and then Phil usually chooses the next kind of main 2026. So, but I would really encourage you, do think about it, and I think it's always been most impactful when you've got a local church group. It's really fun, even if it's just 2 people to do it together. So yeah. So that will be thorough.
And then just lastly, the annual gathering. Do you want to speak to?
Yeah, just if there's a couple things, I'll just mention the launch that's on your table. So launch is the other program that we're running, and this is for equipping church planters and leaders. If you have a sense of calling or just a sense of curiosity about what God might be calling to in terms of leadership or in mission, then this is a program that we're putting together. We have run 1 course already. This is our 2nd year. I run that program. It starts in September. The information is all on the website, which is found on the card in front of you. So take it away if it's for you, or maybe if someone you know who needs to be encouraged to say, I see leadership in you, and that's something that we'd love to see released. And the idea would be that this is it's on Zoom as well, but we also have site visits, we have residentials, we have coaching. It's in some ways a far more intensive course than Ignite, and is a placement locally in your church as well. So if you want to know anything more about that, come and speak to me, but Sarah and Chris also know something about it. And the best thing is to actually get in contact with me, and then we can arrange a Zoom and I can chat. No pressure. But the key thing is applications need to be in by the end of June, so there's a bit of a short window for that. So if you're interested, better to move quicker rather than shorter, as you might miss the boat.
Great.
So, lastly, you have very kindly, you all have, so I'm going to thank each one of you. You didn't know that you did this, but you offered to host our annual gathering, which is our annual 2-day conference next year here up in Highlands in the spring. We have some preliminary dates. Sarah and Chris will share them. And so, first of all, we want to say, as a team, we came up here 3 years ago, and it was absolute delight. You were so kind, welcoming, and it was just really, really special. And so we're looking forward to coming up again. And I suppose I'll say on Chris and Sarah's behalf, if you could offer to help them in hosting this, I'm sure they would be delighted. And we, as a wider network, would be. So we're going to have people from all around Scotland coming together to worship God, to learn, to strengthen the church, and to see new churches established. Thank you all for your
I want to show
time.
appreciation to Stan and Jill this morning. Sarah and the band are going to lead us in a final song of sung worship, and then we've got one more liturgy thing to do. It's a very Invernessian word, that, liturgy. And then there's a couple of just short announcements at the end I want to give as well. So.
Again, you guys, feel free to stand just as we sing this one last song.